Hey y'all, as a lifelong fan, it is inevitable that I would have celebrity and fictional crushes on different characters throughout my time watching television and movies. And today, I have crafted a list for you, whether you're interested or not, in both my celebrity and fictional crushes. You guys probably already know this from the title, but today's video is a collaboration with my good friend Sabrina Johns. I have followed her channel for a little over a year now, potentially longer. It feels like longer because I feel like she and I know each other very well. We just feel like two peas of the same pod. But we wanted to do a collab and we came up with this idea of celebrity crushes versus fictional crushes and just sort of like where the overlaps there are. So if you're interested to see her list, go over and watch her video and be sure to subscribe to her channel because she does a ton of really great screenwriting videos, as well as she's currently working on a series where she does film school from home, so teaching herself, and brings you along in the process, both with recommendations of materials, YouTube videos, and all that. She's got her whole own curriculum, so you need to go subscribe to her if you're not already. She is a wonderful person, and I am so excited that we got to fangirl during this video. So I'm going to start with my celebrity list because it's kind of similar to who I would put on some of my favorite actors lists. Like, if these actors were in anything, not only because I have a crush on them, but also because I feel like they're such great talents, I would 100% go see like anything they were in. Sabrina and I came up with a scale of how to do these, from like your beau, like someone you just have like a little bit of infatuation towards, to then like celebrities who I have had a crush on for so long that they feel like I am in a committed crush with for them. They just don't know that we're like committed to one another. They are basically my husbands and they have no idea, but that's okay. One-sided relationships are not always problematic, maybe? That's a conversation for another time. So starting at the lesser end of the crush scale, I have Colin Firth, who, listen, I understand he is not in my age group. The man just really knows how to rock a three-piece suit, and that's incredibly attractive. I also really enjoy his kind of haughty sense of humor, and also the way he can sometimes be a little awkward in situations but is so commanding in other scenes or with other characters. So I really love him. And then my other like lower end of the crush scale, it's Paul Rudd, because how could you not? Whether he's playing Mike in Friends or the stepbrother in Clueless or Scott Lang, I love this man. He hasn't aged a day, and not only do I think he would be just like a great celebrity to meet because I feel like he would 100% live up to the expectations of him, but he just seems like such a genuine guy that like, how can you not like him? Now we're kind of in the middle of the categories, my boyfriend category, if you will, of people I've had a little bit of a crush on for a long time, but it's, you know, it's not like the level of commitment. First on that list is fitting because of Eternals coming out the end of this week, is Kit Harington. So Kit Harington, I mean, all you need to know is the pictures of him at the Eternals red carpets or blue carpets. Like, the man has a fashion sense. Like, let's just get that out there right now. But I just absolutely love him. His accent is amazing. Him with short hair and a beard is just chef's kiss. Like, it's just top notch. Then we have Matthew McConaughey, who I have loved for a very long time. I feel like Matthew McConaughey, again, is out of my age range for sure, but Matthew McConaughey is just, I like his carefree spirit. I like his dedication to his family. I read his book this summer, Green Lights. 100% you need to catch that book so you can learn how to catch some green lights. It genuinely was, I don't want to say life-changing, but his perspective on things is so wise and also somewhat lyrical in a way. And it was just not only an enjoyable read, but it made me connect with him more as a person. But I mean, like, you've seen Matthew McConaughey in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Like, you can't tell me that like you're not attracted to him. It's a lie. It's a lie if you're not. And those Lincoln commercials, whew, okay, that's how you sell a car right there. Then we have Ryan Gosling, who I believe is the only blonde on this list, but there is something around this time of year, I just get the urge to watch Crazy Stupid Love, and his character Jacob in that specifically, but I love him in La La Land. Like, the man is so devilishly handsome, and he just really knows how to play up that pretty boy persona, even if the character is not necessarily supposed to fit that. So like in The Nice Guys, I think he obviously leans into the fact that he's attractive and younger than Russell Crowe, but he also doesn't let that stop him from giving a stellar performance. So like Ryan Gosling just has never let me down, and he always looks good doing it. So like, and as Emma Stone says in Crazy Stupid Love, it looks like he was photoshopped, so can't complain about that. And then we have probably my most serious boyfriend in this category is Tom Holland. So Tom Holland, I love. I think he's the one that looks most similar to my boyfriend, so hopefully this doesn't get me in trouble with him. I just think he has this, again, boyish charm, but the British, like, gentleman side to him that is just so appealing. Also, his love for Zendaya has just made me love him more, and that's the reason I can't bump him higher, is because I can't disrespect Zendaya like that. So, don't worry, girl. Hands are off, promise. So then we have my hubby's list, and the first one, because I just gotta get this one out of the way, Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, and we'll get to this when we get to my fictional crushes. Harrison Ford has been in my life a long time, and I love that man, and there's something just about his gruff approach to things that I enjoy. And I, of course, love him as Han Solo. Again, we'll get to that in a little bit. But I specifically also really like him as Jack Ryan. I think he fits that role very well. And I just personally, there's just something about him. Listen, I don't need to explain it to you. I just need to tell you when he was on the list. That is between me and Harrison, all right? Moving on. Next, that guy right there who you literally can't see because my chair's blocking it, Adam Driver. Okay, people who know me in real life know I became obsessed with Adam Driver following The Rise of Skywalker. Ben Demption really did that for me, but specifically then watching him in Girls, which he's not the best character in Girls, but he is just so quirky and awkward, and just the photos of him at like Cannes or Venice will just, I don't know, the man rocks a suit. The man is so mysterious and reserved that I want to know what his secrets are. Adam Driver just has this like mysterious man charm to him that like if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. So if you know, you know. Adam Driver is on my hubby's list. Then we have Andrew Garfield, I love Andrew Garfield, listen. Bearded, clean shaven, Peter Parker in Hacksaw Ridge, in Tick Tick Boom, like whatever. The man is so handsome. Him and Tom Holland. When you're a Brit and you play Spider-Man, you have the perfect combination of boyish charm and humor with British gentleman maturity that is just so enticing to women. Like, let's just give it up for them. A round of applause for them. Unfortunately, I don't feel like Tobey Maguire has this charm, and this is where he falls to the bottom of the three Spider-Man for me, which I know will piss off a lot of men on the internet that I said that, but I understand that Peter Parker is not necessarily supposed to be attractive, but 2 Peter Parkers out of the 3 are, so like, who's making up the rules? Not me. Anyways, Andrew Garfield is certifiably attractive. Case dismissed. Next, we have Dylan O'Brien, who is one of the, if not the longest standing crush on this list. Harrison Ford beats them all. Then there's the one we haven't talked about yet, but then I think Dylan O'Brien comes in 3rd place. Dylan O'Brien, I have loved since my Tumblr days. I used to see GIFs of him in what I now realize was him as Styles Stalinsky, who again, we'll mention later. Seeing him in The Internship, one of my favorite movies of all time, I was just won over by, again, the nerdiness that he possessed, the beanie that he wore, the glasses. He was my ideal man for probably 4 or 5 years. Like, that somewhat scrawny nerd who was like somewhat fashionable, like that was it for me. And last but certainly not least of all my hubbies, Tom Hiddleston. You know my love for Loki, but my love for Tom Hiddleston is even deeper than that, because this man I genuinely think is the nicest of all of them on this list. Like, I genuinely think, like, again, the British gentleman is Tom Hiddleston. Textbook British gentleman. My love for Tom Hiddleston is never dying. It is unending. The Loki show and his renewed presence in the MCU, for better or for worse, is always going to, make me happy. And I truly do love him. If you need proof of why I love him, the video where he brings soup in a canteen to one of the reporters, you could tell me it was staged. I wouldn't believe you. All right, and now that we've gotten through that very long and arduous list of my celebrity crushes, let's move along to my fictional crushes. Now, these are going to be in a different order because they're fictional, they have always been a part of my life and will always continue to be people I love. So we're just going to be going through my life in my fictional crushes. So stick with me here. So my very first crush that I can certifiably remember is Woody from Toy Story. I love Woody. He has a sense of duty. He is brunette, so once again, my type. I do love a man in uniform. I love a cowboy, and Woody is all those things. So Woody is the first. And then a man who's already been mentioned today, but Han Solo. How can you not love a scoundrel? Han Solo is just his sarcasm and his humor, again, won me over. I also personally think, and this may offend some people, Luke is not the most macho of men in A New Hope, and Han Solo truly is. He, again, is a space cowboy, and that's what your girl's looking for. My next most prominent crush, which I will still stand by to this day, as much as it got me made fun of in elementary school, and to this day would get me made fun of if I brought it up, so I will get ahead of the scandal, if you will. Ryan from High School Musical. Yes, Ryan Evans. My mom taught me that if a boy doesn't make you laugh, then there's no reason to be interested in him, and Ryan made me laugh. And so even though now I do recognize how hot Zac Efron is and was, nothing will be Ryan Evans for me. Then we have Percy Jackson, but seeing him up against the rest of this list, he again has that sarcasm to him. He has that man on a mission type drive. He gains responsibility throughout the Percy Jackson series, and I truly do love him. As much as I don't like the versions of the films, we will not speak of them, I do love Logan Lerman in that role. He would have been the perfect Percy Jackson at a younger age, and now I think he would play a perfect Poseidon in the TV show, which, fingers crossed, that does not end up getting canceled and that comes to fruition. Then Loki. So 2012 was a formative year in my life for many reasons, but Loki and my love of him, although I do believe I watched Thor before I saw the Avengers, I've loved Loki. I've always seen him as misunderstood. The devilish, mischievous nature that he has to him, he's won me over. He's done it. He's won me over. Then we have Peter Parker, but this is where I have to make some delineations, and this is nothing against Tom, but this is specifically Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, and let me tell you why. With Tom Holland's Peter Parker, I think he's the perfect Peter Parker because he's slightly more awkward. He looks like a 15-year-old boy. Like, they really play up those elements. But there's just something about Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker that is just, again, chef's kiss. Then we have Finnick Odair, who I loved. Okay, Finnick Odair is my favorite character from The Hunger Games, which I never have talked about that series on here. I was a pretty big fan back in the day. Won't say huge, but I was a pretty big fan back in the day. And Finnick Odair's death rocked my world in a horrible way. I was so devastated by it. I love him. I think the casting of Sam Claflin, who is incredibly attractive, was spot on and perfect. I could not have done a better job if I had drawn my visual of Finnick Odair in my head and said cast him. They did that. They did that. So never an ill word about Finnick Odair on this channel. Then we have Matt James's The Doctor. The 11th Doctor, I love for so many reasons. He's my favorite Doctor. He's the Doctor I first started with watching Doctor Who, and Matt James is just so attractive. Those high cheekbones and that perfectly designed jaw, I can't even tell you what shape it is, and that little like swoop of hair that he has. The man is just very attractive. And specifically the Doctor I love because he has a special place in my heart nostalgically, but also he just has this childlike wonder for the world, which most of the Doctors do, but I think Matt James's specifically has the really like kind of dark brooding side to him that is balanced so well with the playful nature. Then we have Pietro Maximoff, who gone too soon. Aaron Taylor Johnson's Pietro Maximoff specifically. I love his character. I think he's so charming. I just love him and Wanda's backstory, and I want him to be brought back. Then we have Nick Young from Crazy Rich Asians. And yes, I am speaking of Henry Golding, but also in the book. Nick Young is even better of a character in the book, Crazy Rich Asians, than he is in the movie. And I know that's like almost impossible to believe because like Nick Young seems like the perfect guy, but I love Henry Golding and I had to have him on this list somewhere because the man is so handsome and I can't believe the world didn't know about him until Crazy Rich Asians. Then we have Chandler Bing, who I love because I think Chandler is, again, he is a goofball, he is sarcastic, but he has this drive for him. His love for Monica is the purest like aspect of him as a person. He has that balance of darkness and light that I seem to like in all of these characters the most. Chandler, even though Monica is my favorite character because I identify with her the most, Chandler is my favorite character in Friends. So again, he had to make fictional crushes list. Then Kylo Ren, but more specifically Ben Solo. Ben Solo is everything he needed to be and more. I can't believe we didn't get to know him as Ben sooner, and then we lost him so quickly after getting to meet him. But that like 5-10 minutes, whatever it is in Rise of Skywalker, where he is truthfully Ben Solo and not Kylo Ren anymore, that is like peak love of Adam Driver for me. Then of course Styles Stilinski, because why not? Like Dylan O'Brien being like my perfect idea of a crush, Styles is such a great and entertaining character because he is funny and he is intelligent, but that nerdy aspect to being funny and intelligent is what keeps them from being necessarily super confident. So if I had to break down this list and psychoanalyze it myself, I would say if you're funny and smart, you've got to be a little insecure. But if you're just really cocky, you have to be sarcastic and a little morally ambiguous to be on this list, okay? That's just, them's the rules, honey, them's the rules. And then last, again, just to tie everything up with where we started in a perfect little bow, we have Mr. Darcy from Bridget Jones. I have not seen the like Pride and Prejudice remake where Colin Firth actually does play Mr. Darcy, but Mr. Darcy in Bridget Jones's Diary and the Bridget Jones trilogy of films is peak Colin Firth for me. I know that other people will disagree, and again, especially in Bridget Jones's Baby, he's an older guy, but again, the three-piece suits, the sort of reserved, slightly judgmental side of him, along with his intellect, and then when he does kind of open up to Bridget in the series, his love for her and his like humor and more free side to him is just so great, and I really just love him, and I can't help but smile every time he's on screen. So after all of those names and all of those confessions of my heart and soul, these are my lists of fictional and celebrity crushes. What do you think? Feel free to judge me in the comments down below. Please do not forget to go watch Sabrina's version of this video to go see her celebrity and fictional characters crush list. I promise you will not be disappointed. She is just such a light in this YouTube community, and I want more people to know about her and watch her channel. Please let me know down below who your number one celebrity crush and fictional crush is. It can be from any point in your life. If it's a long-standing crush or a very new one, I want to know about it. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and want to see a little bit more of like girl chatty sides to movies and television on this channel, because I know my audience from my analytics is predominantly male, but I know there's a good 20 to 30% of you ladies. And like, let's have a girls' night sometime and just chit chat about all this kind of fun stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day or night whenever you're getting to watch this, and I will see you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.